Saint Therese was aware of the power of making small daily sacrifices. In 1876, when she was only 3, her mother wrote, "Even Therese is anxious to make sacrifices. Marie has given her little sisters a string of beads on which to count their acts of self-denial." Her mother spoke about how she delighted in hearing her daughters speak about spiritual matters, but then went on to emphasize, "But it is more amusing still to see Therese put her hand in her pocket, time after time, to pull a bead along the string, whenever she makes a little sacrifice." For a child of 3 to understand the power of small sacrifices and to intentionally make them time and time again is more than inspiring. This shows how serious Therese was about loving God, and it points to her wisdom in that she comprehended the value of sacrifice. It also reveals that she put this wisdom into action by trusting that God would receive every sacrifice she offered him. Therese's habit came about because her older sister Marie gave her beads to count her sacrifices. Once again, we see that Therese was easily formed in the ways of God and responded to the loving guidance given to her by her family. She lived in a school of faith and love. How aware are you of the power of small sacrifices? It could be said that small acts of love are not just important, they are everything. We are rarely called to make huge sacrifices requiring heroic acts of love. Opportunities to make small acts of love in the form of small sacrifices occur every day, however. If you were to count the small sacrifices you make out of love every day, how many beads would you need? Kindness, gentleness, mercy, and the like are best expressed in small intentional ways. Others might never see the small sacrifices we make, but those sacrifices make a difference nonetheless. Small sacrifices, done regularly and intentionally, have the ability to form our character. They form us in charity, since charity is best defined as sacrificial love. Make it your goal to acquire a permanent habit of small sacrifices. A habit can only be formed by doing these sacrifices day after day, week after week, and year after year. The more you offer sacrifice, the more you will want to sacrifice. And the more you want to sacrifice, the more you will become an instrument of sacrificial love. Dearest Saint Therese, you learned from a very young age about the power contained in small sacrifices of love. Pray for me, that I may also be as open as you were to these lessons of love. Help me to form a deep habit of self-giving so that I may become the saint that God is calling me to be.